Here we go. So good morning. I'm going to try something a little bit different than I normally do this morning, because I've been having some crazy dreams. But I first wanted to just acknowledge the fact that there's wadequinton.com and then there's outlawson.com. Now understand that outlawson.com is Outlaw Son Redeemed, which is me, of course. Either way you look at it, they're both me. wadequinton.com is the old me, which is still me. I'm the same old guy I've always been. And then there's the new me, which is Outlaw Son Redeemed, which is the old Wade Quinton, reborn, renewed, restored, which I've been that way for 20 some odd years. The only difference is now is the end times, of course, and this is his words, I will pour my spirit out on all men. Anyway, my thing is this, is if you haven't noticed that I've changed, even as much as I haven't changed at all. I'm still the same guy. I still have crazy thoughts, etc. But I'll start with this, because I'm a songwriter, right? I'll start with, backed up everything I own. I told every friend I know goodbye, right? But if you'll listen to the rest of the song, there's nowhere in there that I said to the rest of my friends that, oh, by the way, let's keep in touch, right? Because if you do know me, you'll know that I don't like phones, I don't like texting, I don't like social media, I don't like relationships. Obviously, I haven't been able to keep one, right? I'm just kidding. I do with my kids. I'd love to have one with them because they're my children and I'd love them to know what I know. But at the same time, I'm glad they don't know what I know, because I've tried to protect them from that. But anyway, my thing is this, is that, and I had this lady that was wanting to keep a long distance relationship with me for the prospect of we might be able to be a couple at some point in time, kind of thought. And I wrote her this long letter that said, here's the deal, I don't even do relationships with people that are in the same room with me, right? So there's no way I'm going to keep up this facade of, let's just, hey, what do you do? Oh, I just want to talk about Christ and whatever. No, I don't care. You can be the most religious Christian person in the world and know Jesus better than I do, which I doubt you do. I'm just saying, I'm not saying I'm this great, wonderful Christian. I'm saying I am chosen. I will say it again. I'm chosen by God Almighty, and my story proves it time and time again, because I've seen him just work in my life, and he's got me doing stuff I don't want to do. You think I want to do this? Absolutely not. I got better things to do. But he's like, I need you to tell your story, because people will see that, oh, you have been through some serious, crazy trauma. Oh, you have dealt with narcissistic people that have tried to destroy you. Oh, you have been in drug and alcohol addiction, and you've been restored, redeemed from that. Oh, you were a drug dealer yourself. Oh, you were in the weed business. Oh, you've stabbed a person 9 times. Oh, you shot at people before but didn't kill them. I'm just saying, why would I tell you these things? What makes you look like the bad guy? Here's the funny thing, is I've always been the bad guy, right? I've always been the bad guy, and guess what? I'm okay with it. I'm good with it. He made me the way I am to go, yeah, because I want to show that when I yank you out of that. I've been watching The Chosen too, and it's like, man, I'm most identify with Peter, Simon, if you will, in that he's the fighter, he's the scrapper. And my deal is this, I don't understand vengeance. I get that he says vengeance is mine, and if I ever turn you over to the Lord, then I just go, oh my God, I am sorry I got to do this. Matter of fact, I'll warn you ahead of time. Sorry I got to do this, but I'm turning you over to the Lord, and you're in his hands. I've seen him time and time again when I've said that to people, and I've said it exactly that way. I would beat you myself, which is what I want to do, but I'm not vengeful. Vengeance doesn't even exist in my body of, I'm going to get that person back. I'm going to hurt him. Now, my dad was vengeful. He would get you back. Like, you don't play games with dad. And that's one of the things where I was like, man, I don't want to be that person, because it's bitterness, man. It's poison for the system to hate other people and want bad things for people. I don't want bad things for anybody. You know what I want them to be? I want them to be restored, redeemed, renewed. I want them to have joy, peace, comfort, provision. I want them to be blessed. That's why I'm starting some of the things that I've been working on for 10 years, 15 years I've been working on some of these projects that are just now coming to fruit. Just now. I'm not even going to mention some of the stuff that I'm working on, because I don't want it. You'll wait. You see. Like, you can see this is starting, and I don't even care about this. This is just him telling me to do stuff I don't want to do again. I'll use another example, which is, I need you to sell everything and move to Nashville. And I'm like, you've got to be out of your ever-loving mind. What are you thinking? And of course, from the outside, it looks like, oh, well, he's a songwriter. He's going to Nashville to try and make it rich and famous. Let me just say it again. I'm already rich. I'm already famous. Go read my story. Go look at it. You'll see that I've done it all. I've already done it. I've made all the money that I want to make. I've made good money. I've played for 85,000 people in one time. I've done it all. I've had a bus. I've been on tour. I've written songs. I've made a little money off of that, but not enough to account for anything. I mean, I think I've made all of, let's see, on DistroKid, I think I made $34 last year, and it cost $40 for the subscription, so I only had to pay $4. Okay, well, that's not making money. That's losing money. But it's all right. Doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm just doing it because I got this song in my heart and I need to put it out. Packed up everything I own, or don't waste your time. I got stuff to say through songs. I got stuff to say like this. That's why I do this, is to tell you. Because he told me, hey, you know all that stuff I dragged you out of? Why don't you tell people I dragged you out of it? They don't even know the half of it. You don't even know the half of it. I gave you just a 10,000 foot overview. I'm going to get into some of the details, but I'll finish with the move everything to Nashville. Here's the first thing I said. When I hear that in my spirit, and it's just like when I'll get into listening the voices in my head. That's a whole nother book. I am going to read that book because I do want you to understand, is it God? Is it the devil? Is it yourself? Is it your ego? And be able to hear those different voices and how to hear them and know. And here's the way you know. God is always going to tell you something you're not comfortable with. Let me give you an example. I need you to sell everything you own and move to Nashville. I know I didn't hear you right. What? Here's what I said. Here's how cocky and confident I am with God. My relationship with him is so good. I'm like, you have lost your ever-loving mind, Lord. You want me to sell everything I own and move to Nashville? I said, I go, do you see all the stuff I have? Like I had, a nice place in Bixby, America. I had more stuff. I even sold off half of it. I gave truckloads away to people. I'm just saying. Anyway, I could show you. Matter of fact, I'll put some pictures in this to say, look at all this stuff. Yeah, that's the stuff I got rid of. Anyway, I came with one trailer and my truck. That's all I had out of all that stuff. And matter of fact, all that stuff is underneath the porch here, and I still don't even know what's there. The only thing I know of is the guns that I got that I'm trying to get rid of, because I don't even need a gun anymore, to tell you the truth. I'll just turn you over to God and say, Lord, this person, they're trying to, and then you're in trouble. But anyway, I said this, and he says, well, whose stuff is it? And I was like, oh, that's right. He goes, how much of it were you born with? And I was like, He's like, oh, how did you get it? Okay, you're right. So you want me to sell all this stuff off? And I'm like, here we go. I was like, all right, well, hang on a second. I said, if you really want me to sell this, you really want me to move to Nashville and all this, I said, I'm going to need a sign. I need a sign. All right, well, I lived in that place for, 15, 18 years. I don't even know. It was a while. It was a minute or two. And great memories made there. Some great videos, by the way. You should go check those out just to reminisce. But anyway, you might even be in one. I swear, one day I'm out there. So I started getting the house ready for sale. I had people come. I said, take some stuff, get this stuff out of here. Had some garage sales and yada yada. Made some serious cash off that, but I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna need the cash because I'm gonna be homeless. I don't even know. I had no idea what he wants me to come here for. I just heard him clearly, move here. I knew it wasn't for music, although I figured there's a little music aspect in it because I am a musician and I am a songwriter, but I wasn't. He knows where I stand on that. Like, I could care less, right? And that's the honest truth. I just do what I do because it's in me and it has to get out, and so I write songs. Anyway, long story longer, I said, I need a sign. Well, I'd had multiple garage sales and all kinds of stuff, and my barn is pretty much cleaned out at this point in time. I've been in that thing a million times. I'm starting to clean stuff out so I can throw stuff away and take it to the dump and yada yada, because there's a bunch of trash that I piled up because I'm a hoarder. I'm a MacGyver. I fix stuff. I can't throw that away. I might need that for my aquaponic system. There's no telling. But anyway, I walk in my storage shed. So like, you open the barn door, or right here's my storage for tools and where I work on stuff and yada yada. I open that up, and sitting right there, boom, right there is a for sale by owner sign. It's in one of my other videos, like where I'm playing my guitar, you can see that for sale sign. So I was like, and I heard him clearly go, and there's your sign. And I looked and I was like, my jaw dropped to the concrete floor, and I was like, wow. And I was like, Lord, that's not the kind of sign I want. It says for sale by owner. And that's what I'm like, yeah, but that's not, okay. I said, you know what? I will take that because it is for sale by owner. I'm like, you know what? Really? That's, and I was uncomfortable about it because I was like, ooh, how in the world? And I'm an analyst, right? I'm an analyst. So not is not, and how not. All right, somebody did this joke. How did they get the could be witchcraft. Somebody bewitched it and said, let's put it in his mind that he needs to sell that house, and then we'll go put a sign in there, and brr, brr, brr. And the Lord's like, yeah, I'll use that for my good. You curse him all you want, and you put your hexes on him, and he'll do that, but it's going to bless him because that's what I always do to him, right? I don't know what the situation was, but there's a sign in my frickin' barn, right, that says for sale by owner. So I'm like, okay, well, I thought, well, then I better really start getting ready to sell this house. So I put the sign in the house. I start giving more stuff away. I'm down to just like nothing. Then I thought, well, if I'm going to do anything, I got to fix that chimney, trim around it. And so it's December 12th. I'll never forget. I'm up on the roof. It's freezing cold. It's a nice day though. It's probably 45, sunny out. And I'm up on the roof, and I hate heights because I fell in an olive tree. I just don't like them, right? But that's why I'm extra safe. I'm up on the roof, but the wind's blowing. I'm fixing the trim, and I do some other stuff. Well, I look off the side, and I'm like, it's like 16 feet, 20 feet to the top of the chimney. And I'm looking down, and I'm like, dude, I do not like this at all. And I'm done. I'm just done. I'm like, Lord, this is it. I said, you know what? And I swear to God on my life, I said exactly this. I go, Lord, if you really want me to sell this house, I said, you need to send a buyer. I said, you need to send me a buyer. I don't want to go through the real estate stuff. I don't want to go through any of that stuff. I'm done. I said, if you want me to move, then send me a buyer. I'm done working on it. I get off of the roof. I put the ladder down, pacing in front of the house, just kind of pissy. I'm a little pissy. And I'm like, freaking want me to sell this house and fracking. And I just asked him 20 minutes ago, I said, if you really want me to sell this house, send me a buyer. I swear to God, on my life, I'm standing in there pacing back and forth when all of a sudden I hear this ring, 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 ring. And I'm like, which I'm a motorcycle rider. I love the brat, right? So I look down the street, and here comes this big guy. He's probably, he's a couple 100 pounds. He's bigger than me, and I was big at the time. I was probably a good 225, right? And I look over, and he's on a little KX65. And so it's like this. The front tire's up, the back tire's down. And I'm like, my first thing is, what's this fat guy on a little bike? And I flash back to fat guy in a little coat. But I'm thinking, fat guy on a little bike. Sorry, I'm not calling you fat, but okay, but you were bigger than me. Anyway, and you're on a little bike. And so I give him, the universal motorcycle rider. I said, give it some gas, fat boy. I said, give it some gas. And he says, ring, and he pulls off in my yard. Well, I don't even know this guy, right? So he pulls off. I'm like, dude, what are you doing on that little bitty bike? And I'm thinking, man, let me ride it, right? Because I'm at least a little lighter. But he's like, hey, man, I'm so-and-so's dad. And, I just wanted to show you his new bike. Well, I'd been letting his son ride in my backyard in the pasture out there because it's set up for motorcycles. I had jumps and everything out there. I made it into a motorcycle course because guess why? Because I'm a motorcycle rider. Anyway, I'm like, hey, dude, awesome. He goes, yeah, I bought him this bike for Christmas and such and da-da-da-da. And you can tell, like, I look like I've been working and painting and cutting and sawing, and because I got dust on me because I'm fixing the trim and so forth. And he says, quote, he goes, well, what are you doing, man? And I go, he tells me that, he shuts the bike off. We get to chit-chatting. Hey, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. So what are you doing, man? I go, you fixing your house up? And I said this, and I quote, I said, well, I don't know where you stand with the Lord, but he just told me I need to sell everything I own and move to Nashville. And he goes, really? And I said, really? And he goes, so what's wrong with the house? I said, I guess it needs a new owner. He's like, really? He goes, man, I've been looking for a place for my parents for like a year and a half. He goes, Nothing wrong with it. I go, dude, if you want to check it out. I said, look at it. I go, here's the deal. He goes, well, what do you want for it? I tell him a price $100,000 less than what it's worth at the time. And he's like, no way. What's wrong with it? I go, here's the deal. I just want it gone. I'm done with it. I don't want to mess around with it. If we can do it, let's do it. I said, but here's the deal. I said, I just found the sign. It says for sale by owner. This is like a Friday or something like that. And I said, if I put that sign in the ground on Monday, I said, then it's $100,000 more. And he says, no way. I said, dude, I'm not lying to you. Everything I told you is the truth. And he's like, can I look at it? I said, dude, you bring yourself right in here. He comes in, he looks at it. Hey man, can I go get my wife? I said, here's the deal. I said, you go get anybody you need to for the next couple days. I said, you just come over, you bring your inspector, you bring whoever you want to. I said, but if I put that sign in the ground on Monday, it's $100,000 more. I'll be right back. He goes and gets his wife, brings it back. His wife's in tears. No way. After she sees it, she's like, oh my God, I can't believe I've been looking for a house for a year and a half. And this is 3 blocks down there. Anyway, long story longer, they bought the house 3 days later. He comes to me on Sunday. He's like, dude, we'll take it. Don't put the sign in the ground. We'll take it. But anyway, so then I'm homeless. I'm like, well, crap, I guess I'm moving to Nashville. I didn't even know where I was going, what I was doing, why I was moving here. But I know now, and mostly it was because he said, Lord said, and this is no diss on my friends, because I love you. You know I do. I'm love walking. You know I love you. But he said, I need to take you out of your familiarity because they're holding you back. You're not being able to accomplish what I need you to do for me, because they're trying to bring you back to the old you. Well, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to... Packed up everything I own. I told every friend I know goodbye. Here's the deal. I don't do long distance relationships. It's not that I don't love you. It's that I got things to do for the Lord. And that's the most important thing for me in my life, period. Don't care about anything else. I don't care about friends, family, whatever. And it's his words. If you read the Bible, what does he say? He says, he says, if you love your mother more than you love me, then you're not my people. Here's my thing. I love him more than I love anything, anybody, anything I own, period. I'm sold out, period. Here's the other truth, is that I do things because he tells me to do them. Do you think I wanted to sell everything I own and move to Nashville, Tennessee? Absolutely not. Do I like Nashville? Not at all. It's loud. It's obnoxious. This is probably going to chop up into a couple different videos, and maybe I'll just let it ramble on, but I want to give you one other thing, because he gave me this. He's been giving me dreams lately too. I'll stop here just for a minute.